What's up? Oops. Hold on. Here I am dropping stuff again. There we go. I just can't get myself together. What's happening, folks? Happy Friday afternoon, Friday evening. We're here to just do another one of our Friday night small talk, girl talk shows where we don't really have a topic. It's just, kind of whatever. And you guys can call in. You can do advice questions if you like. The usual $10, whatever, to get your question answered here on the line. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's just a free for all. Just do what you like. Do what you like. Whatever. It's your first time for here? Well, welcome. We'll try to be on our best behavior. As a matter of fact, let me get rid of my gum. We try to be on our best behavior so that you won't be too freaked out. Because, we tend to get buck wild on this channel and just go crazy. Yeah. So you guys try to watch your language, though, because I really would like these shows to be PG so they could run some ads and bring in a few dollars for the channel so I can share them with Candace and Shay. So if you should call in to, ask a question or make a comment, we invite you to do so. Let me give you a link to make that happen. I ask that you watch your language. Don't talk about really super adult topics and stuff. We save those for the Tuesday night show. And so we try to keep this particular broadcast pretty PG, okay? But, I want to talk about, I have a couple of things. I have 3 issues to bring up with you, to throw out there to get your thoughts on it. Somebody, I can't remember who that was, sent me this article that she found somewhere, and it's about something called orbiting. And it's a new dating trend that can have long-term psychological effects. Now, what I want to say, first of all, is every time I see one of these articles and some white person wrote it, they always, give it some little cutesy name. But it's, the same stuff that black men have been doing to black women for like decades. But they discovered it. I guess it just morphs over into, white culture or whatever. And so then they slap a label on it and act like they just discovered it. And it's always interesting to me to see that, because when you talk about this kind of stuff, have articles up on AskHeartbeat.com and Surviving Dating from the 90s. So it's like, this is not really new. But what's new is that white people think they discovered it just like they think they discovered America. And they put a name on it like they put a name on America, and walk around and with their chest puffed out like they, thought of something. But it's something that's been going on for like generations. It's not new. And it's something that men tend to do. So let me tell you what this says. So she says, my phone was utterly lost in all of the chaos on my wedding day. The following day when I found it, there were numerous messages of congratulations. I stopped in my track for a moment because of the Instagram message from an ex-boyfriend from college. I hadn't spoken with him for over a decade, and he wrote happy wedding day. First, I wasn't really aware that my ex was still following me. However, it was even odder that this was a message he had chosen to send. He had chosen to send of all days. Yet he wasn't the first. When I posted our wedding pictures, there were likes from random dates, several hookups back in the day, and people I hadn't spoken with in years. A new term emerged several years ago for this strange behavior: orbiting. The definition of orbiting is continue to interact with an ex content on social media, even if you ceased all real life contact with them. However, there are specific reasons why this can damage mental health and affect how people navigate their romantic relationships. Now, the fact that she thinks that it can, mess up your mental health and mess up how you navigate your relationships based on some fool who just keeps hanging on, I don't understand that. I just think that's a stupid statement to make, and we'll see what she says in a minute. But what do you guys think about that? This thing, this orbiting, where people, they follow you on social media, and before there was social media, what they would do is drive by your house. They would call you every so often. They would make friends with your best friend. They would make friends with your brother. They would make friends with your mama, so they had a reason to come by your house and see, Miss Green, Miss Green, and this kind of stuff. This is not new. The only thing that's new about it is the addition of social media, because that's new from the 90s and early 2000s. That's when social media really took off. But other than that, there was no, in the 80s, there was no social media. Clowns just would show up at your house. They show up where they knew you were going to be. They suddenly be calling your friends. I mean, it's the same behavior where they're trying to stay in your circle and in your life and still continue to have some kind of, keep tabs on you. That's basically what it is. That's what we used to call it anyway. So what do you guys think about that? You think it's creepy? I'm like, whatever. You want to see something? Let me give you something to see. I'm going to mess with you. You be trying to spy up on me. I'm going to give you something to hurt your feelings. But, okay, so then she says, it allows toxic people to remain part of your life without effort. And her friend read the message and said, he's busy at work. He likes almost all of my photos and comments on my posts and my stories. I just know we will be going on another date soon. Of course, he never asked for another date, but for months she responds to his messages, allowing him access to her life and thoughts and keeping her hanging on a thread without giving her anything real. Katie even turned down other interested prospects because she thought hanging on to the hope that Matt would come back around was a good thing to do. And orbiting gives the orbited individual false hope that the relationship could be salvaged. I think anyone who's been on this channel knows better. Anyone who's been on this channel for more than a day or two, listen to more than a couple of videos, knows better. So then she talks about why women shouldn't tolerate this and all sorts of stuff here. But it's like, we already know that. These dudes, I don't understand. It's like they don't want you, right? They don't want you, but they want to keep, cock block and see who else wants you so they can run interference. That's what that is. It's just jealousy. The women who fall for it are the ones who are silly. Shay! Yeah, I just don't it is somewhat stalkerish, but they don't usually have any harm associated with it. They just want to see what you're doing, who you messing with, if there's still a chance that you still like them, that kind of stuff. But the dude who was talking about happy wedding day, that was rather unusual, because usually by the time they see your level of commitment with somebody, they leave you alone because there's no chance, for you to get back. So then can you continue to use you and hurt your feelings? I thought that was, pretty interesting. It's like I said, it's nothing new. They just slapped a cute little label on it and act like it's, something brand new, and they just figured it out. But we know that's not true. We've been dealing with these things for generations. And then another article I found. Now, keep in mind, this is a show for y'all. So, if y'all get finished talking about what I'm talking about, please figure out what you want to talk about. And then I'll stop talking and I will talk about what you want to talk about. So that's the deal. Yeah, this like, who makes these guys think somebody wants them anyway? You not that cute. Not that cute. And your stuff ain't that big and you don't really know what you're doing with it. And so that's a trifecta of fail. And nobody's interested in you. So let's move on and talk about this article. Do you know that United States churches membership is on the decline finally? No one could be happier about that than me, because it means that since Black women are the most religious demographic in the world, here in the United States anyway, that they're finally waking up and leaving these churches alone and stop giving all their money to these pastors. I told women in my book, The Black Church, where women pray, Pray, and men pray, Prey. That's a book I wrote, I don't know, probably about 10, 12 years ago. You can find it on Amazon if you're interested. But I was telling women then that, these guys, if you're giving your money to a pastor and whatever, you're basically in a pimp hoe relationship because they don't have any interest in you. They just want your money. And so many women volunteer not only their money, but rides, their gas, they're paying for that, food, which they're cooking and bringing to the pastor and all stuff. So they're spending $20, $30, to feed him a nice meal. All kind of stuff be going on in them churches. So the fact that the numbers are dwindling shows that people are finally waking up. Finally waking up. So I don't know. I don't really need to read all of that, but if you want to, it's U.S. News in the Washington Post, and it's called "Losing Their Religion: Why U.S. Churches Are on the Decline." Okay, so that's where you can find it. Enjoy it. Let me know what you think. And if you are a church member, why did you leave? Or are you still there? What is it that you think that you can get out of church that you can't get nowhere else? The church building and the pastor that you can't get anywhere else. I think that's the reason. And then the final thing I have to talk about, and after this, we're going to turn it over to y'all if you don't have nothing to say. Then this is about to be the shortest show in America. There you go. There's the link to call in and ask your question or say what you got to say on the air. Do you know that there are a lot of professional Black women who have decided that they want to have a child, right? They don't want to, they don't seem to want to be organic with it. They go to a bank and then they tell the bank, I need a Black man. And the bank is like, sorry, we don't have any of that on store. And so she's trying to figure out what would happen. And I'm like, from what I can see, these dudes do want to make a baby, but they want the organic method. they want to do it in a method where, they can feel it. And then they'll have a kid. So you look at all these this whole article talks about how many Black women are looking for a donor, going to these banks, and they can't find a Black man. And it says Black men account for fewer than 2% of sperm donors at Syro banks. The vials are gone in minutes. Isn't that amazing? I mean, I'm wondering why you want to have a baby like that. Why it has to be a Black man? Why can't you just have a baby by whoever, since you paying for it? I wouldn't look at his race. I would look at his intellect, his morals, his values, his, all these kind of things, and determine what kind of personality he has, and then go for that man. If I was going to be like, specifying a baby, I wouldn't get one just because the dude had the same paint job as me. I'm not going to do that to myself. So I just thought it was interesting. Yeah, I thought it was a yikes moment too. So anyway, you guys have a question? You guys have something you want to talk about? Now is the time. Yeah, I'll put the link in here again. There it is. If you want to talk on the air, you just click that and you'll be on the show. If you think you want to, well, never mind. Thursday. Well, my thing is this, I don't think brothers don't be trying to go to a sperm bank. They just do what they do. Like they all got plenty, them ones dipping and dabbing, got plenty of kids. They just don't have them formally in a, that kind of situation. They like to do stuff, I don't know, organically. They just want to, do a direct deposit. They don't want to do the bank like that. So, and it's the same way they handle their money. They be going to them check cashing places and stuff instead of having a real bank account like a grown up. So it's the same mentality to me. But I thought it was interesting that these black women are looking for them and can't find one. Like all these dusties running around the streets, especially, in certain age groups. I mean, the numbers are even higher. They're not doing nothing with their lives. They're just wasting their time. What's happening? Mm-mm. So yeah, those are the links over there. So if you have something to say, just click the link and let me know. So I finished talking about my 3 things I brought to talk about. I don't have nothing else. I just have to talk about y'all. Hmm. You thought about that, Lacey? Then you woke up because you realized it was just going to be too ridiculous. That's what stopped me. It's one thing to have a kid, but it's another thing to, intentionally do it by yourself, so that you basically set yourself up for all that loneliness and heartbreak and brokenness and all other stuff that single moms experience. Hmm. Reading through the chat. Oh, I'm sorry. I had a long day. Got up at 3 o'clock this morning. Haven't been back to sleep yet. You never entertain. I would have never either. I would go to the bank and get me an Asian dude. I want me a high IQ. That's what I want. Not some dust bucket. Just because he's the same race. No, we wouldn't even bother with all of that. I think Blasian babies are cute. I sure would. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be bothered. So y'all don't have anything to say? Everybody want this Friday night comment show. What's going on here? What you got to say? What you want to talk about? If you guys don't want to talk about nothing, then I'm gonna go lay down because the sister is woe out. What she's talking about? Let me see this. I'm about to sleep on a mattress on the floor and move with hefty bags. Oh no. I become the very thing I hate, a dusty. Oh no, Ravania. No, Ravania. Ravania done turned into a dusty with hefty bags. Girl, no. Oh, oh, that's terrible. Well, make sure you get them double strength ones. You don't want your stuff busting and falling all out the bag onto the street. That's really gross. Dusty News is coming soon enough in a couple of months. It starts in June. The Dusty News Network will return on Friday nights. Yeah, that's true. Copper Court says women all over the world are over it. It's true. If you go on most of these websites, not the date, not the app that I mean like real dating sites where they have articles and education about dating and all this kind of stuff. If you go on those and you read what they have to say, you will see over and over again that women aren't too bothered about dating. They like it, but the men that they would be dating are trash. And they don't want it. They'd rather be single. I'm like, wow, this is kind of deep. Sad and deep. Hmm. Okay, I don't see any questions. I was just reading all the comments. None of them are questions though, so I don't know what to say, people. I don't know what to say. Everybody's so quiet. Nobody don't have nothing to say to me. You know, what about the last column? Did you agree with all my answers? What about the one before that? It's kind of crazy. Both of them had crazy questions. Oh my God, I'm exhausted. Okay, here's a one. Let's see what she say. Oops. Have you seen those photos of gay men having the same complaints that women have about men? No, but I heard about them. I did hear about them, but I haven't seen one. But what does that tell you? The problem is not women, the problem is these men. So that's very interesting kind of validation, considering, but they all are men, so they're gonna do what they do. But yeah, no, I haven't seen any of them specifically, but I've heard about them. What do you think about? What do you seen about these videos of gay men having it with the same complaints? Oh, yeah, women just said that. It's terrible. You mad that your rent went up? Yeah, that's something that's been going around through the MGTOW, those that group for a while. They're just banking on the fact that they think scientists can get them, make women redundant because then they wouldn't need our womb, and so then that means that they wouldn't need us. That's what they're trying to get at. But the bottom line is, no matter what kind of way scientists come up with a trick to do anything, the bottom line is they still need the same raw material. They haven't figured out how to make that yet, how to make a woman's egg or a male sperm. They haven't figured those out. So that means they still need those, which means they still need the organic method, which means there's nothing for us to ever worry about until they can create in the laboratory some fake eggs and some fake sperm. Then we all would have to worry. But right now, there's nothing to concern yourself with. But if there's any opportunity for laws coming up that makes that legal, be sure to fight it tooth and nail because it's some BS. I like I said, I always look at stuff not just what's happening now, but what could happen in the future. What could this indicate? Where might this go? That's Deborah. So I'm looking at, okay, just say that they had this thing that was a fake womb, and then they would get eggs from women from some egg bank or something. Well, what if they didn't like those eggs? What if they liked the eggs of the girl down the street who's 18 years old going to college? And suddenly she gets abducted and then she gets, cut. And then her eggs get extracted so that somebody can use whatever on it and then make themselves a baby. I think about stuff like that. I seriously think that's one of the reasons why they're pushing for this so hard. There would be no reason in this world for a normal man, heterosexual man, to push to replace a part of a woman's body artificially so that to make a child he doesn't need her. There's something really seriously wrong with that dude. So what other questions y'all got? Any more? Any more? Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, it's even if they did, because I had read something, I don't know, a couple of years ago, where some scientist was crowing. The headlines was very misleading. It said something about him, having developed this artificial womb, and so he did develop it, but again, without the egg, without the male sperm, it's just a lump of metal sitting there. It had no value. So, if all women said that I was going to participate in that kind of nonsense, then Anything that they did to the contrary would be a criminal act. Let me see what these young folks are talking about. Hmm. Oh, yeah, there's a village I heard about somewhere in Africa. I don't remember where the women live without men. And if a boy who is living there turns 16, he has to leave. That's it. They just like, nope, you can't stay here. So he has to leave so that maintains it, before they start going through that girl crazy phase and girls start going through that boy crazy phase. They just get rid of the attractant. Oh, somebody said something about passport bros. They ain't going nowhere. It's interesting to see them overseas. It's very few of them that will even talk to the women and, you know, try to get a date or something. It's mostly the white and Spanish dudes. So they be steady trying to beat you all over the head, talking about we're gonna go overseas. We're getting a foreign bride. We're gonna okay, bye. Go do what makes you happy. Nobody gonna miss your ass. Hmm. Someone. Okay, wait. Let me put this on the screen. What am I doing? Whoops. Okay. She says someone asked about passport bros. Yeah. Well, to me, it's the same as when white guys do it. It's trash. It's trash behavior. To me, it's a trash mentality that would motivate somebody to do something like that and victimize someone else that they know is poor and only doing that to survive. It takes a certain kind of person to be attracted to somebody like that. I'm not that person. I just wouldn't feel good about that. Also, like I said earlier, they always using that as a way to try to beat black women over the head and make us feel like we're not good enough. The bottom line is, if he really felt that way, he would have been married 2 or 3 times to whatever Hawaiian or wherever you are person, and he would have gave this a second thought. But the fact that he's still there, still eating your grass, still eating your hay, and drinking your water, he's been taken care of by the husband. What is this? Oh, my computer doing some kind of scan. Just want the what? Oh, oh, there you go, Van. That's probably is what it is. Mm-hmm. They always leave. As soon as they get the lay of the land and make some friends with some American women who tell them how stupid they are if they stand at home cooking, cleaning, and serving him and, all about him. I said, girl, what's wrong with you? He's supposed to, do that to you. You tripping. And so they get to see how other couples relate. And the next thing you know, they be out. And the boys be sitting there looking stupid. Like, oh my God, I never thought she would change. I want her to be the same way forever. You're alone if you're in a relationship, Jennifer. That's the part people don't understand. You're not joined at the hip because you're in a relationship. You don't go everywhere he goes. You don't breathe his air. You don't have the same blood. You don't have nothing in common like that. You have somebody who, you have an opportunity with, I guess, but you shouldn't really put too much on it until you've been dating about 2 years. But these guys, you just meet the guys, they be talking about, well, you my woman and all that sort of stuff. To me, that's just game. That's just a way to try to make you feel psychologically secure that this relationship has a future. And then the next thing you know, he's just being down and dirty. Yeah, there you go. Make towels with money. That's it. Got a few little chump change dollars that want to lose their mind. Hmm. Well, hey, that's what happens. Okay, here's one. Let me see what this is. What are your thoughts on dating older men more than a 10-year age difference? Well, I mean, some women like it. I don't think it would do too much for me, though. My husband was 9. Well, I always say 10 because it's just easier to round it out to an even number. But he was really 9, just under 9 years older than me. And that was old enough. I couldn't imagine going 10 and more. I don't think I would want to do that. Especially, I think it depends on what age you are. That counts too. Like if you're 35 and he's 45, well, that's not really going to be that big of a difference as far as maturity and accomplishments and education and social status and all this kind of stuff. But if you're like, I don't know, let's say 18 and he's on the downstroke to 30, that's too old for you. You're 15 and he's 25, that's too old for you. You're 20 and he's 30, that's too old for you. That kind of stuff. They're just older and been around the block a few times more than you. So they know more than you. And it's something you should avoid. Not good. Let's see, what does this say? Question. Okay, hold on a second. Couldn't sleep with a guy after 5 dates and he doesn't want a relationship. Should I never message him again? I don't do hookup. Yeah, you should just leave him alone. Because, really, why would you even do the first or second? Okay, maybe the first date, because that's when you guys would talk about this kind of stuff. But by the time you figured all of that out, whether it was the second or third date, there should have been no more dates. So, and the way to tell her that is like, I'm trying to do blah, 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 and alone, and I see that you have a different agenda. And so we're going to break up because I don't want what I'm trying to do to become an issue for you. And then just break up with his ass. He's 12 years older than you? Yeah, see, that's right, glass size. That's what I feel anyway. 20 and 30, 15 and 25, you know, 10 and 20. I mean, those are the ages groups, the age differences are real big when you're young like that. But when you get older, like if you're 40 and he's 50, that's like nothing. You 50 and he's 60, that's the same age as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I don't know if I would do 12 years older, but if it works for you, I mean, it's kind of, I mean, my general guideline is no, but there's situations and circumstances where, the girl's extremely mature and the guy's kind of a knucklehead. And so it works out because when you look at how they act and talk, they're both at the same level of maturity. She married, wait, let me put this up so everybody can see this. Hold on a second. I read an article about a woman who married a 57-year-old man when she was 27. Now he's in his 70s and can't do anything. She got to clip his toenails for him. Now she has regrets. Her parents, I mean, she probably didn't want to listen to them, but she should have had regrets from the beginning if she didn't have none. Old geezer. I could have told her that. Don't be messing with that. Yeah, okay, let me see. Scroll down here. Uh, 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 See, what does it say? They say a woman must need to see a man upset in public. What is something you would do or say to have him a man upset in order to see how he handles it. Oh, jealousy is the number one way to do it. Get him to think somebody else is interested in you, or you talk to some other dude. You don't have to even really be turning it on that much. But talk to somebody else and make sure he sees it and you all laughing, ah ha ha ha, and touching the man on the shoulder. Oh my God, you're so funny. And the guy buying you drinks and stuff, your dude sees that, he's gonna lose his mind. It just go crazy. Okay. Well, I haven't seen any new questions here, you guys, for our Friday night chat. What is this? Oh yeah, that's the one we already did. Sorry. Yeah, did I answer this question? I mean, I remember it being on the screen, but I don't remember if I gave you an answer. But absolutely, you should stop dating him. Anything further after he told you that you guys have widely different, divergent goals for yourself, goals for your life, there's no reason for you to continue because he's not going to change his mind and neither are you. So what's the point? I mean, it's not like he's the only man in the world. So, I mean, you could just take your little parade and go cast your net somewhere else. But that's always an option too. Okay, let me see what this says. What do you seriously think of dating other older men, 10 years age difference? Well, what I think is that they're going to be happy. They're going to show you off to all their friends and pretend like they still have, this vibrant sex life. But it won't really, not going to do nothing magical. So there's no point. Yeah, 27 and 57. That's too old. Okay, let me see. What do you think about? I don't think they're decent. I don't think they made any sense. I just don't think anybody should do them. Because to me, long distance it leaves too much room for fantasy. So you create in your mind this vision of how this person's so wonderful and all this stuff when you've spent minimal time in their presence and you basing something for your entire life on something that may or may not be what you really thought it was. I don't think they're a good idea. I think that young people who were in a relationship and they packed up to leave and they say, well, oh, I'm going to do long distance, need a reality check. That's what I think. So anyway, people try to date coworkers. Let me see. Hold on a second here. No. No, 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 no. Never get your honey where you makes your money. I know people do it, you know what I mean, but it always creates some drag and drama. Like, first of all, why are you gonna have can we diversify here as far as our income goes? Both of you working at the same place. If something goes belly up, then everybody's fired. Nobody escapes. That doesn't make any sense to me. You should just be able to take what you need and leave the rest at home or something. They're obsessed. Wait a minute, what's she talking about? Oops, show. I see people try to date coworkers, and it's weird because they're obsessed with each other. Yes, that's not good. I wouldn't want to be dating somebody I was obsessed with. Well, I guess the next thing to wait for is for some lovely young lad to come along and want to, you know, get my thoughts on something. It has to do with, like some of the questions you guys asked, where it's women, you know, they anyway. He would flip it around to be what men need to know and the stuff that women say to men and what they mean. That might be interesting. But we don't have those kind of questions today, so there you go. Let me scroll down here and see if there's anything new. Nope, nothing new. Well, good. Let's talk about what? Child, we talk about Dusties every day. Every Tuesday we talk about Dusties. White Dusties, black Dusties, Mexican Dusties, mixed Dusties. It don't matter. They're all the same. They're all the same. Complete wastes of time. Let's see what she says here. Okay, well, you know what, Glass Eyes? When you have to work on something together, depending on what it is. I mean, if you're talking about some entertainment vehicle, then yeah. But you talking about you got to work on your relationship, you got to work on your marriage, you got to work on your communication, you got to work on your trust, you got to work on your whatever it is. Anything that doesn't he doesn't already have in him, you quote working on it is not going to make it happen. It's not going to make it happen. That was his mother's job, and she didn't do a good job if he's an adult with disrespectful and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know. I don't see where that's such a benefit to you to be stuck with him. I just don't see it. Having a baby. I mean, I'm sure the baby's cute, but you could have had it by somebody who wanted to be committed to you. You didn't have to have it with him. He wasn't the only cute dude in the world. They don't like distance. It's not about what he likes. It's about what the woman likes. Women keep giving away their power to men. They're talking about what he said and he wants and he likes and what he thinks is gonna. I mean, just him. It's all about him. And I'm like, it should be about you. It's dusty out here. Oh, why coworkers fall for each other? Oh, they don't know. I think a lot of it's just proximity. You got somebody who's lazy and hasn't really met anybody else. They're gonna be more susceptible to a coworker that they think they fancy versus looking, out in the real world or really doing something to meet somebody. They're gonna just think, oh, I met this person at work and it'll be okay because they work in a different area than I do or whatever. I don't know. It just makes no sense to me. Why coworkers fall for each other? There's no one reason for that. Said it could be, a zillion. I mean, it might be cute, might be soulmates, might just be somebody who want to cheat on whoever they got at home, might be somebody who, you know, found out that the chick is a V and he want to conquer her. I mean, there's so many reasons. You can't. There's no one reason no one answer to that question. And it's an individual circumstances. Plus, there's probably 30 more reasons. I just rattled off some that came to the top of my head. What is this? I just talked about that in the show on Tuesday. A woman wrote a question and she asked that exact same question. So listen to the video on What the Fuck Tuesday. But the bottom line is, if he says he's not ready for a relationship, then he's not ready. Yeah, that means he's not ready for one period, or he's not ready for one with you, which you don't really care about which one it is, because bottom line is you ain't having no relationship now with him. So what do you think you should do? I mean, he just told you plain and clear as day what time it is. Now you could ignore it and sleep with him if you want to, but you would be a dummy. I mean, man putting you on notice like before out the gate that you ain't gonna get shit out of him. He's not gonna be invested in you. He don't like you like that. I mean, he's telling you that with that one statement. So why women keep hanging on and thinking they can change his mind is just amazing to me. But yeah, listen to the answer because it's longer, and you could probably enjoy her question on What the Fuck Tuesday. Dating at work is no effort. Well, it is if you have to hide it. If you sneaking, you have to. It is a lot of effort. How should women navigate the dating scene when leaving the country? Well, they should read up on the culture of where they're going, where they're going to be, and they should put in their mind what kind of boundaries they're going to put in place and what kind of dating they want to do. Now, if you want to just do hookup dating, you'll find a willing and ready audience. If you want to do the kind of dating where you don't do nothing really until you got that engagement ring on and you about to walk down the aisle, well, that might be more difficult to find because most of the guys want to, they feel like entitled to women's bodies and they just feel like they should be able to get it whenever they want to with no investment and with no nothing. So you have to decide what you want in a relationship and then you hold out for that. You still talk to dudes, you still be friendly, but you don't date one of them because once they feel like you're their quote girlfriend, then they're going to start pressuring you for, bedroom action. And that's not something you want to do. So then you leave that alone. Okay, let's see what's going on here. What is this? Oh, okay. That's the answer for glass eyes. Let's see. She said, oops, did that show up? No. How should women navigate the dating scene when leaving? Oh, didn't I just do that one? Is this one I meant to do? Okay. At what point should women ask to see the financials of their partner? Credit report and pay stub primarily. When you're engaged. Before that, before you decide that you're going to join lives, what is his doing with his money is none of your damn business. You don't ask him nothing. You don't sneak around trying to look at nothing. You don't tell him nothing about yours. You don't give him access to your account. You don't put his name on nothing that you paid for. And you don't tell him your PIN number. That's what you do. Yep. Next thing you know, he gonna have you got good credit. He gonna have some credit card coming to his mama's house or his other woman's house or something, and leaving your ass in a pile of debt you didn't even know that you had. So I don't recommend that trick. I don't recommend that. Even for parents, I don't recommend that. I wouldn't do that for my mother. It's like, no, you didn't want to go some places. You want something, you just tell me what it is and where it is, and I'll make it happen. But I'm not. We're not doing that. So many things we're not gonna do. Oh, let me hide that. Okay, let me see what else is there new. Okay, yes, I guess there is nothing new. The rest of these aren't. This is not. These aren't questions. So anyway, you guys, see. Well, I guess we could do this a little bit more often because I think it's a good way to touch base and a lot of questions and thoughts that you guys have. Maybe they came up while you were watching one of the shows and you didn't really get a chance to ask it. And it's about content that we put out. This is a good opportunity for you to talk about it. It's a good idea. She's like, how should the financials be split between a married couple if they're child free? I often see it said that men should pay because he should support the family. If there are no kids, does it still apply? Well, that's his wife is his family. I don't know. I think if I were single and childless, what I would want to do is, um, wherever we lived, he got to pay for that. You gonna pay for that? I don't care if it costs $15,000 a month or $400 a month. Well, I'm gonna be living on $400, but you know what I mean. He's gonna pay for that. Then what you do is you pay maybe the light bill, the cable bill, the water bill, and buy the toiletries and stuff like that. That's how I would do it. I think that's the best way. Mm, oops. Okay, yeah, that's what we just talked about. All right. Yeah, I don't. I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. I can't believe that somebody would get married to you and have in the back of their mind expecting you to help cover, some of their expenses when it concerns maybe a kid. But I think some women have like exceptional student loan debt. They went buck wild with their credit cards. I mean, those are the kind of things that that should be brought up at some point, definitely before you walk down the aisle. But at what point you're gonna do it, that's gonna be up to you. But it's a conversation that does need to happen. Hmm. All right, well, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here and get me some grubbage and see you then on Tuesday. Okay, we'll see each other on Tuesday. If you're listening and you have a question for What the Fuck Tuesday, a relationship advice show that we do here every Tuesday night, use the link in the show description down below or up in the upper left hand corner. You'll see a little green thing that says Get Advice. You can press that too, or you can just navigate straight to the page with the form on it that you fill out for advice questions at Debsterism.com. Debsterism.com, like you see across the button over there on the left hand side. That's the URL. And then you just drop down to the thing that says Get Advice, fill out the form, and press send. Your question will come to you. And that was a nice, short, brief little get together. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'll see you on Tuesday. I'm going to go lay down. I'm exhausted. Talk to you later. Bye. Bye. Bye.